Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tyler's Tiger Talk. So, Bama game's getting close. I thought this week would kind of drag on, but it's gone by fast. I feel like Bama week always kind of like the week before Christmas. It always drags on, um, and it's slow to get there. But this week has been rolling by, and I'm excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas right now. I can't I barely can wait, but so number 10 LSU goes up against number 6 Alabama, and one of the points is like people have been talking about, is this LSU team ranked 10 because this might generate more money or views just cuz it's number 10 versus number 6. And maybe that's the reason, but these rankings really don't even matter. I mean, I don't disagree with the rankings. I mean, LSU's a good team. They've shown you that they could be a good team in the past two games they've played. I don't disagree with the ratings, but the ratings don't even matter right now. The ratings don't matter till the end of the last game, until you finish playing your team. So LSU's last game is Texas A&M. So until you beat Texas A&M and get through the rest of your games, the rankings don't matter because if Alabama goes in, beats LSU, continues to win, they're going to be ranked higher and higher. So the rankings don't really matter right now. So I don't care. I don't care that LSU is ranked number 10. I don't care that Alabama is ranked number 6. It doesn't matter to me right now. What matters is the game plan and how LSU can stop Alabama because they can. And they showed you. They showed you last year. Last year's, yes, different year. This is 2022. Last year was 21. All right, totally different year. These teams have changed and matured for the most part, but LSU did a great job of stopping Alabama's run game last year, and Jahmyr Gibbs has been doing pretty well for Alabama the past few weeks. So stopping him is going to be crucial because you want to put all the pressure on Bryce Young and you want him to make all the plays. And yes, he can make all the plays, but if you're putting all the pressure on him, if you can get big hits on Bryce Young and throw him off his game, that's all Alabama has. So my point is, if you can get big hits on Bryce Young, and you never want to hurt someone in football. Like, you never want to try to hurt someone. But Bryce Young is not the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, sturdiest guy. He tends to get hurt pretty easily. He's pretty small. He's not the biggest quarterback. I think he's 5'11", pretty skinny. So I mean, you get a big hit on him, he might be hurt, and he's already been hurt this year already. So and missed a game. So you want to make big hits on Bryce Young, and well, I mean, shoot, I just say all out blitz the first few plays of the game, and um let let your linebackers get there and get a few tough hits on Bryce Young, because I tell you what, that LSU defensive line and defensive backs ate it up last year against Bryce Young. Kept him to 300 yards and 6 rushing yards. So all their offense was from passing. Because you're like, oh, well, 300 passing yards is pretty good. But when that's all you're doing, it really isn't good, because that was all their offense. So that was all what they got from just passing, and they got 6 yards rushing. So LSU did an excellent job last year. So if you can have a similar vibe and a similar feel going into this game, you could potentially win, because your offense is 10 times better than it was last year. That game ended 20-14. You kept Alabama to 20 points. That's pretty damn good. Just slowing down Alabama at first. You don't even have to stop them at first. Just slowing them down. Maybe they score the first drive. Maybe they score the second drive, but maybe it's only 3 instead of 7. Just slowing them down bit by bit and then tearing their offense apart. LSU has been done a good. I mean, at the expense of points, LSU has done very good at learning defenses throughout the game, and then being able to punch back and just tear the defense apart. So if we can do something similar to Alabama without letting them score a bunch of points, say a touchdown, then a field goal, and then another field goal, and then just starting to learn their offense, you're going to have touchdowns and field goals here and there, but you may have a couple drives where you're forcing them to punt. So just slowing down that Alabama offense is going to be key. Not because they're going to score. They're Alabama, but to put the brakes on some of their drives is key for LSU getting close in this game and potentially winning. And that comes to my next point. So this game has been back and forth in my head all week. Alabama's going to win. LSU's going to win. Well, and then there's so many negatives and positives and things that are drawing me towards LSU winning, and then I'm like, no, Tyler, be realistic. Alabama's probably going to win. And then I'm like, well, LSU does have a chance. Alabama's been bad on the road. They haven't had the best secondary. They're not good. They haven't been that good against, top tier receivers. And that's why, and there's just the pride of being an LSU fan, and that's why I'm going to go with LSU for this game. I got my Beat Bama shirt on. Yes, I'm going to throw out being realistic out the window, and being smart out the window, because I do think LSU can win this game. You're at home. It's a night game. You're sold out. The stadium is going to be erupting. See, with Tennessee is LSU didn't have that spark against Tennessee. They didn't have that, the light of boom, 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 boom. They had wins against Mississippi State and Auburn that were ugly and gross, and it was slow wins. They didn't have big wins behind their belt. LSU has beat two good SEC teams in a row. I'm not gonna say great. They're not. We didn't beat Alabama. We didn't beat Tennessee. We didn't beat Georgia, but we beat two pretty good teams in a row by a lot. Florida, we were up 3 touchdowns. We kind of let them come back in the end, but by all means, we pretty much annihilated Florida. Just domination. We dominated Ole Miss. 2 teams in a row. So you're coming off 2 big wins. Your quarterback is literally on fire. Your defense and Harold Perkins, a freshman, is on fire. You've got all the momentum here. Alabama has everything to lose. Yes, LSU has some to lose. If you lose this game, you don't go to the SEC championship. But no one at LSU thought they were going to the SEC championship in the first place. So really, you have nothing to lose, and Alabama has all the pressure on them. And like I said, my last video, it's not really smart to corner a lion or a tiger or a big cat like that, right? Because they're going to swipe at you. But this is different, I find. I kind of compared it last time, but this is different. Yes, you're kind of cornering a lion in Nick Saban in the Alabama Crimson Tide, but they also have all the pressure on them, which means you're more prone to mistakes, you're more prone to rushing, and you have all that pressure on you. And that's something that's not all the best sometimes, because you lost to Tennessee. Yes, this Alabama is scary as there ever will be, because they do have that pressure on them. But again, sometimes that stress and pressure goes with making mistakes. And that's something LSU needs to capitalize on in this game, is if Alabama does make mistakes, you're there to punch them in the face because of it. say you get an interception or fumble, um, make sure you take that interception or fumble and score. That doesn't mean, oh, you get the interception, pick six, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you get an interception, you get your offense back on the field, and you score, whatever. That's what I mean. So if LSU can do stuff like that, they can win this ball game because it's going to need to be a perfect game for LSU, and Alabama's going to have to make some mistakes for this to go to LSU's way. LSU has to play pretty. They have to play perfect. This has to look like an A-plus team. You can't have, dropping a punt or dropping a kickoff like that you had in can't talk, in Tennessee. You have to play pretty. Like, you have to play your A game. And I think LSU will. I think they're going to come out punching. I just hope Alabama gets the ball first so our defense can make that big stop. I'm going to be at the game, and this game is going to be roaring, and that's what excites me so much. You got 2 days. It's currently 7:13 right now. So in 2 days, I'm already in Death Valley in 2 days, and I'm sitting there watching LSU dominate, right? No, I don't think they're going to dominate. But I do think they have a chance to win, and I'm going to call them to win it. Call me crazy, call me cuckoo, but Sunday, when I'm doing this video, my Tyler's Tiger Talk reaction of the game video, I'll be looking at the audience and say, I told you. I just think LSU has all the momentum. And we'll go, oh, well, momentum's not all they need. They beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss sucks. They beat Florida. Florida sucks. Yes and no. They not only beat those teams, but they dominated those teams in a scary fashion. And the way Jaden Daniels did it, he looked like a totally different quarterback, a Heisman quarterback. And I think this Alabama team is going to struggle with stopping Jaden Daniels on the run and passing. I just do. I think LSU's receivers are equipped to beat this Alabama team. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm sure he'll eat up this game. Jaray Jenkins, Jack Bash. And then you have Major Burns coming back and John Emery coming back. You got so many positives coming into this game, and you got the momentum of you just destroyed Ole Miss. Your whole fan base is going to be behind you. You have so much potential in this game, and I think LSU comes out and wins this ball game. And yes, it might be the pride of being an LSU fan. It might be the stupidity of being an LSU fan, but I think they're going to win this football game. For the most part, I had Alabama. Up until this week, I had Alabama, and then I looked at these. I looked at how these teams played. I broke it down, and LSU's gonna win this game. Alabama struggled on the road so far. They've struggled against big body receivers. You saw it against Tennessee. I think LSU's receivers in this passing game is going to eat it up. I also think this rushing game is going to eat it up. And Jaden Daniels, for the most part. I'd like to see Josh Williams get involved a lot. Same with Emery. Jaden Daniels is definitely going to need those guys to be able to fall back on. You don't want to always put the ball in Jaden Daniels' hands. Sometimes you have to give it to the running back for him to make plays, so that you're taking some pressure off the quarterback. Just like Bryce Young's going to have to do. That's why it's so important to be able to stop the run game in LSU, and I think they can do it. They showed you that they can do it against the Alabama team last year. Jahmyr Gibbs has been good for Alabama this year. He has 672 yards and 6 TDs for the year. So we'll see how he does. We're getting Major Burns back in that safety position, so he's a good coverage guy. Um, so you that's a lot of positives, and then you potentially have Dellinger back, who's gotten better throughout the season. Um, and then so it's like that, and that's another thing. Frazier versus Dellinger. Do you put a semi healthy Dellinger back, or do you keep a Frazier in with this same lineup that's been clicking? That lineup with Frazier in it has been clicking. I think it depends. If it's fully healthy Dellinger, throw him in there. Rotate him in with Frazier every now and then you have that rotation in to where you can rely on both those guys. So that's what I think will happen. If Dellinger's hurting or if he's letting guys through, I think that's what you do. Um, so we'll see how that goes. I think Alabama's a 13-point favorite right now. I want to say 13 to some people have them 13, 12 and a half. Uh, I like LSU by 3. Um, I don't really predict games, but should I go for? I'll go 38-35 LSU. I think it's going to be a hard fought game, but I think LSU is going to win it at home. I think if LSU was going to Alabama, um, we probably wouldn't be talking about an LSU win. I think it'd definitely be Alabama. But hey, LSU has been good on the road so far, so you never know. But yeah, I like LSU in this game. I know I'm crazy, stupid maybe. So I'm gonna do a video on Friday the day before the game. I'm gonna have ask my friends to come on and see if they want to join me and talk about the game a little bit. Because there's really not that much to talk about now, because the past 3 videos are 2 videos, and this is my third one. We've kind of gone over what LSU has to do. So you know what LSU has to do at this point. They have to stop the run, put some pressure on Bryce Young. Um, you want Harold Perkins in there for sure. He's going to be a key factor in this game. I know people keep on saying Perkins, 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 but it's true. He's going to be a key factor in this game. Getting him, Ojulari, and Gay in at the same time is going to be crucial every now and then. You're going to have to send a blitz every now and then. I'd like to see it. If it were me, I'd blitz the first play of the game and have Harold Perkins go in there and make big plays. That dude is going to eat up on Saturday, and he's going to be scary. And if he plays like he's been playing, again, this is why I think LSU is going to win, because he's so damn dangerous. And Bryce Young is scary. Like he's a scary dude. He's known to get away from defensive linemen and linebackers when they're rushing him. But I think when you put him against Harold Perkins, I think Harold Perkins gets there. Especially if he gets past his assignment, I think Harold Perkins gets there and makes a sack or makes a TFL and brings down Bryce Young. I think it's gonna be scary. I think this is being underestimated how scared this LSU defense can be, but I think they can be scary, and I think they're gonna come out punching, and I think this offense is gonna come out throwing, and it's gonna be scary for the Alabama defense. I'm not gonna make any crazy predictions or anything, but if it can click on defense and offense, you could have a LSU team who could dominate this Alabama team. I know, ooh, I sound stupid, but it's true. I mean, LSU kept this Alabama team to 20 points last year with second stringers in there on defense. And then also, the only reason we didn't win that game is because we did have no offense, and now we do have an offense. So keeping Alabama to 20 points, that's that can be scary. So we'll see what LSU can do, how they capitalize on each drive. Again, I'd have the game around 38, 35 realistically. but stranger things have happened. Um, LSU could get blown out. Um, I don't think LSU is going to blow out Alabama by any means, but you never know. We maybe I win by a touchdown or 10, or we may lose by 20. This game's that unpredictable to me. It's more predictable to other people, but I think this game is less predictable. It's gonna be hard, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any key points. Like I said, that defense is gonna have to be so disruptive to Bryce Young in his pass game, so we can stop that offense. I think it's gonna be harder for. This is a good sign though, which is a good sign. I think it's gonna be harder for Alabama to disrupt Jane Daniels than it is for LSU's defense to disrupt Bryce Young. I think we have the playmakers to really stop Bryce Young in that offense. But we'll see how this goes. You just have to wait, and that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to wait 2 more days until that 6 o'clock hits in Death Valley, and it's gonna be eruptive. It's gonna be like a volcano in there. We're also not talking about the possibility that this team goes back to its old self. You go back 2 games and Jane Daniels is scared and he's running and he's getting sacked and he's not throwing the ball like he should. That's a possibility. Let's hope we're past that. We kind of got past it with Florida and Ole Miss, and we're like, okay, I think we're past that, but let's just hope we're past it for good, because you never know when that might come back to sting you in the butt. So let's hope Jane Daniels is past that. I pray that he is. I pray that doesn't come back. I do think Jane Daniels is a big threat to this Alabama team, a bigger threat than fans think, and normal fans from both sides think. Like I said, this Alabama is really scary right now because they are backed up against the wall, but they do have all the pressure on them, which is also a bad thing. I hope we can get a good run game going with Josh Williams and John Emery. I think John Emery will be dangerous against this Alabama team. And also with Josh Williams, you saw it with Clyde. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 2019 was very, very dangerous against Alabama. He was shifty, he break tackles, and Josh Williams kind of reminded me a little bit about Clyde. He's not as shifty and he doesn't have as many of the moves as Clyde does, but he reminds me of Clyde. And you saw what Clyde did to Alabama in 2019. So we'll see what Josh Williams does. I hope we can get the running backs too involved in the passing game. I think that's one of my favorite things to see. I said it with the Saints, and I say it with LSU. And when LSU does do it, they have a lot of success. And I don't mean pass game by screens and in the backfield pass. I mean beyond the backfield, like maybe a 10-yard in route or like a little Texas route or a wheel route, stuff like that. Getting the running backs involved in that, I think is going to be crucial to LSU's offense. And it's dangerous to get those running backs involved in the pass because they'll take it for a lot, especially Josh Williams, and John Emery. John Emery really hasn't been good over the couple of years. He hasn't been that good in the past. We didn't get to see him last year. This year we saw him. He's caught a few balls and he's been good. So like I said, we'll have to wait till Saturday. I'm excited. I know a lot of other people are excited. If you're an Alabama fan, you're excited. Who doesn't love going to Death Valley? It's probably the best place on earth you can go to watch a football game. So I said it in the last video. If you have any comments, put them down below. Any predictions, anything you want me to answer, I'll gladly answer it. Like I said, this game can go both ways. There's so many ways this game could go. in our direction or against our direction. Um, like I said, and I think this is more unpredictable than what people seem to think, but that's just my opinion. I've been right about every game though, so you have to give me that. I've been right about Tennessee. I thought we were gonna lose, and we did. The only game I didn't call Florida State, and I didn't make a video on Florida State, so technically I didn't call that. So I've been right about every game since then. So and a lot of games that people didn't, even LSU fans and LSU sports analysts didn't call. I know a lot of people, sports analysts, that are LSU fans and stuff, called for us to lose to, Mississippi State or Florida and teams like that, and I called us to win, and we did. Um, so I do think we're gonna win against Alabama. Um, I think LSU has the properties to beat them, but we'll see. So as always, thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. There's a bell somewhere at the top right if you want to ring that. That'll tell you when I upload. I'll probably have one more video talking with some buddies about this game. I really don't think there is any more to talk about with this game. Now you just have to wait and watch for what happens, because there's not more really much you can talk about anymore. LSU has to be able to run, they have to be able to pass, and they have to be able to stop Bryce Young in Jahmyr Gibbs in that rushing game. Easier said than done. Also, it's like kind of the obvious, but it's true. If you want to stop Alabama, you're gonna have to stop their rushing game first, and then go from then on out. LSU has the recipe to beat Alabama, but will they? Like I said, we'll have to wait till Saturday night in Death Valley for that to happen. So thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. Leave me a comment, and as always, go Tigers.